This is a presentation of the Badlands Media Network. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is May 30th, 2023, and this is episode 97 of the Rattlegator Report. I hope you can hear me fine. Today is a different kind of day. I struggled with a different kind of day yesterday, and I want you to know that I struggled with my damn laptop all day yesterday trying to get the pixelation issue and different things corrected and failed. So I am totally on the desktop today, and I believe totally at the mercy of not being able to see when the ads complete, et cetera, and all that good stuff. I think we'll see how all of that goes. I did a little bit of communicating with the StreamYard people. I've got Rumble on my side TV over here for my show, and it's not presenting anything. So I'm going to have to do it the old school way, or the way I've been typically checking on y'all. And that's through the screen. I can see your chat. Okay, very good. Good morning. Good morning to each and every one of you. Yeah, Diana, that's why I wanted to do, you said you wouldn't even know what to ask. That's why I wanted to do this show. It's not proselytizing necessarily, but you've heard me say I'm all in on Bitcoin. I don't think I have to proselytize. I think we can just have a discussion, and some things that may not have occurred to you may wind up getting discussed. The guest today, Cigar City Patriot, is on a beginning journey herself, trying to find out the basics of what's what. So I thought she would be an outstanding first guest. And then, of course, Patriots in Progress and G Money, well, they do their show. And so they can bring the substance. But I think we can set the table today a little bit, just some of the questions, some of the thoughts that she had, some of the concerns. And then primarily, okay, what was your impression of the conference? I was disappointed. Yesterday, I went on that website, and they've got a listing for their 2024 damn thing's going to be in Nashville. And it's like, oh, hell no. I mean, I was looking forward to going to South Florida again next year. But hey, so be it. Let me walk through this. And I wanted the first segment. We're not really doing the Bitcoin thing. I think the way I'm going to try and do this, the first 20 minutes or so will just be regular show. And then after the commercial break, I'll bring in Cigar City Patriot. I'll bring in Patriots in Progress. I'll bring in G Money. And then we'll just have some discussion. So, good. Yeah, I'm really hopeful. we did on Sports Talk an interview that I was supremely pleased with, other than my damn sound. I am using my Yeti microphone this morning, and apparently y'all can hear me. So yet another reason why I'm so damn mad at my laptop. But other than my sound on that interview, I thought it went great. I thought it was outstanding. And I think it's another step in the direction we can go at Badlands Media. I meant to send to content creators on our chat yesterday a recording I made of my guy, Stephen Mark Ryan, who was talking on his Twitter exclusive channel. Here's some things that I see that I think Twitter is testing out. And this is what it means going forward in terms of you contemplating your ability to monetize the content you create, etc. And so this is, another reason why I'm taking this tactical, strategic 2-week break, partly because I just need to step back and I just need to rest a little bit, clarify a little bit. Flying Storm, come on now. Don't, let's not hate on G Money. I had a great time with him in Miami. He is who he is, and we need to give room. He's a true believer, and I don't fault him for that. But of course, I am going to give room on the show. One reason to bring him on Flying Storm is he can answer questions. If you have some questions, if he deems it fear, uncertainty, and doubt, it will be interesting to see how he addresses it. Everybody's unique, right? Everybody's unique. And we got to, I was looking at, let me see if I want to share this, because I know some of this triggers people in our network, because good morning, Brian, 222. John Otter, here's the thing. You can say that. You can believe that. But you might want to study the Luddites. You don't want to go down that road. There is technological innovation that is going to be a fact of the matter. How you as a sovereign individual deals with that, okay, fine. But you don't write it off by tossing out a term, transhumanism. That's not what you do societally. Maybe what you do individually, okay, fine. But yeah, Maggie, you've already won. I'm just telling you. I said yesterday, you may want to say to your husband, Ethereum seems like some Russian stuff to me. But yeah, Tesla is a data company. Tesla is an energy company. Tesla is an artificial intelligence company. Tesla is an automobile company. Tesla is undoubtedly going to be the most valuable business in the world going forward. They just LJE, MAG. You probably told me what that means. I've just got so much floating. I can't remember, but love you too. did he confess that money is his God? We had a fantastic roundtable. In fact, I may ask Cigar City what were her recollections. We had a fantastic roundtable on that Pepe yacht. And he's a fun guy. And I don't have a problem or issue from what I've seen with G Money. I don't have a problem or an issue. And I give plenty of latitude for people to interact, be a friend, be a valuable purveyor of information, et cetera, et cetera. It's like Stephen Mark Ryan is a perfect example. Love that guy because he has taught me so much about the stock market, the craziness and the bullshit of the stock market based on their talking points that totally ignore facts, evidence on the ground. They have a narrative. They've been given the narrative. They're following the narrative. It has just been truly a revelation watching that guy, totally atheist, mocks God Almighty. It's like I say to some people, I don't know how to quite pair this up in my brain, but we Floridians can be very regional. We like our region of the state, our little corner of the state. We talk all kinds of trash about other people and different, it's just, and that's kind of the way I look at some of this stuff. When people would be trashing Jacksonville, I just think, hey man, joke's on you. We got the best region in the state. We have a beautiful river, beautiful beaches, room to grow, easy access to the flagship university, to the state capitol, to Atlanta, Charleston, and Savannah, to Tampa, Orlando, and Miami. It's the best spot in the state, man. So I don't care what you think, what you say. Anyway, so G Money, I will let present himself on this show. I have a hard time thinking he's not gonna present well. It's not just that I agree with him on Bitcoin, but I agree on the importance, of Bitcoin. It's not that money is his God. It's that this is freedom. Okay. And when you think of it in those ways, that's what those inalienable rights bestowed by God Almighty, that's what it means. Freedom. Now, it's far more than that in this realm, but that's a foundational aspect. It's like Stephen Mark Ryan. I don't really care that he hasn't seen the light. I don't want to say that I don't care that he may never see the light, but I have faith that God Almighty is going to work through him and to him. That's the way I look at this stuff. So, but what I wanted to show you, let's see if I can share the screen before I bring Cigar City on. And let's see. Maybe I'll share a few because I saw the link in the chat. Maybe I'll play that 1 minute video, Carrie Lake. That's very good. And in fact, maybe I'll do that first. Man, I've got all kinds of, where is that? This must be it. Yeah, let me share the screen and hopefully you see it. And yeah, it does say I'm sharing and we'll hear it. Okay. Okay. These people are so brazen, right? This is the thing. And Kerry Lake put out this thing. We caught them. This is video evidence from Maricopa County's own live stream. They didn't know we were recording. And it shows officials breaking into machines after they were tested and sealed. They reprogrammed the memory cards right before Election Day, causing 60% of the polling stations in GOP areas to stop working. This is sabotage. Okay. Now I'm going to reiterate to you, maybe you've heard me say this, maybe not. My working theory is Special Operations Command and the United States Space Force linked up with certain National Guard elements around the country. They have tracked all of these people. They have video evidence on all of these people. They've been inside these polling places secretly recording, unbeknownst to these dumbasses. I'm just telling you, they are creating a rock solid, incontrovertible RICO case that will be massive and will leave no room for doubt. There's just no way they haven't done that. 2018, Donald Trump sent out teams from the Department of Justice to 44 cities around the country. Told the world they were sending out teams to 44 cities around the country. They've tracked everything. They've documented everything. They've cataloged. They've discovered the networks. These suckers are in trouble. Just let the plan play out. But now, moving to something else that I'm convinced about. Let me see. I need to share a screen again. This is just a tweet. I've said quite often Twitter is the battle space. And I want to show you, I think, yeah, here we go. This is it. All right. Now, this is Mike Pompeo. A tweet, May 26th. Giving Ukraine the weapons needed to win is the best way to end this war. Now, y'all are listening to Donald Trump say he can end this war in one day. I want you to understand that Donald Trump knows certain things, and one of them is that he has the freedom to say that because he's not bearing the responsibility officially of the position of the presidency. He has put that yoke on Joe Biden. Now, from my vantage point, he's free to say that. Doesn't mean it's 100% accurate. Doesn't mean it's inaccurate. You think what you want to think. But when you have the man he selected, and Donald Trump hires well, when you have the man he selected to go into the CIA and start fixing shit, and after that go into the State Department, two bellies of the beast, maybe the two biggest bellies of the beast. That's what he sent Pompeo to do. I'm going to pay attention to this man. And when he says this kind of stuff, it carries a lot of weight, a hell of a lot more weight than a whole bunch of other people talking Russian propaganda BS, from my vantage point. Okay? So this kind of sort of fits within, because I don't think President Trump has explicitly said, he's thrown some stuff out there to me about Bitcoin, which is traditional Trumpian stuff. He can't be too closely associated. He just can't be too closely associated. But I think he's in on it. I think he's championing it too. So let me try and remember to go hunt down, okay, what advertisements do I need to do? And then I can bring in Cigar City, and we can let her kind of introduce herself, and we can have a good little conversation. I do believe. So let's see. First up, I got to get into the other browser, and we will have our first ad of the day. Interestingly enough, from someone who is absolutely not 100% Bitcoin. He's gold and silver.
Silicon Valley Bank debacle demonstrated just how fragile our banking system can be. We don't know what the future holds, but history has shown us that physical gold and silver are a reliable store of value to protect your wealth. Don't let fear of the unknown paralyze you. Take the first step towards securing your financial future. Reach out to Kirk and his team at kirkelliottphd.com/badlands. That's kirkelliottphd.com/badlands.
Wow, will wonders never cease? I was actually able to see that ad and hear it. I hope it didn't echo too much for you, but that's a problem we're just going to have to deal with right now until I can get this set up a little bit better situated. But yeah, gold and silver, definitely a part of wealth generation going forward. The only question is, what is your risk tolerance? And how do you apply it to your little world? So next up, the Wellness Company.
Hello, Badlanders. Are you worried about spike proteins and how they may impact your health? Are you looking for help but don't know what to do? The Wellness Company has an answer in the form of their clean, pure, all-natural spike support formula developed by experts like Dr. Peter McCullough. The Wellness Company's spike support includes incredible nattokinase, dandelion root, black sativa extract, green tea, and Irish sea moss. Even better, the spike formula by the Wellness Company is vegan, gluten-free, and made right here in the United States. Buying American-made, naturalistic ingredients of this quality separately costs over $100. The Wellness Company's spike formula is only $65.99. Go to spikedefend.com to order spike support today and use promo code BADLANDS for 10% off. That's spikedefend.com and promo code BADLANDS for peace of mind if you are concerned about spike proteins.
And going forward, there definitely seems to be more and more news about this spike protein stuff. And many of you probably are like me. You didn't take any of this jab crap. You didn't go down that road. But you may have a bunch of family members who did, and that kind of product may be something you're going to need to have some conversations or prepare to have some conversations with family members who may have an issue or two that is puzzling to them. So keep that in mind in terms of the product and perhaps get some just in case. I'm just saying. So with that, let me see if I can bring in this Florida girl that I met and let her have a little chat with y'all as she chats with me, and we talk about Bitcoin and all that good stuff in the conference. So there we go. Cigar City, how you doing?
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me?
I hear you, and it's like I was hoping and praying that we don't have any issues because, of course, gremlins do crop up, and I'm
Trust me, I'm like on this end going, God, I hope my mic works.
Yeah, I've had maximum issues, and the audience knows that just yesterday. But anyway, it looks like everything is working. Our prep went to good use. I'm going to check the chat real quick, but why don't you just kind of introduce yourself to the audience and we'll go from there.
Yeah, sure. Well, appreciate you having me on. I'm very grateful to be a part of this community and just, being a part of this conversation, because I was monitoring the chat, just in the beginning, and a lot of the sentiments that I saw are exactly kind of where I'm at. So I'm really in the beginning of my journey. By the way, did I hear you say in the chat that Jacksonville was like the something about a flagship university up there or something like that?
What I said, my dear, and we don't want to show too much of the Florida rivalry going on here, but Tampa, you ain't ready for me, so don't listen. And for the audience, there's a further little aspect of this. This woman, just to show you the Florida rivalry stuff. We're on the damn Pepe yacht. Okay. I'm sitting, cooling out, having a good time, got my little drink. I'm watching Miami Beach pass by. It was a really good scene until I heard this damn mustard and ketchup war chant. You know, those damn Seminoles, they do all that. You just want to choke the life out of them. But she had convinced the damn DJ. Now look at her. Okay, so you know she smiled in his face. She batted her eyes. She did all this, that, and the other. I don't know what she did to get him, but he played the damn. And this is Miami.
Yeah.
You know the Canes hate that crap. But that was. I laughed my ass off, but it is true. We do have regional. Yes, Jacksonville is the best city in the state. And the thing about the flagship university, it's closer to Jacksonville than any other metropolitan area. I'm just saying. And
All right.
Tallahassee is closer to Jacksonville than Tampa. Okay. So anywho.
All right. I'll let it slide this time. But yeah, it was wonderful to the whole kind of the way everything evolved was on the rare Pepe yacht adventure. And I basically just went up to JB and said, hey, I watched GART. I watched your panel on GART, and you know, I was a part of the virtual attendees, and I had tried to get John to put a dig in about Go Noles. But anyway, that's kind of how we started talking. And I'll just share a little bit about my journey with Bitcoin, which started through Badlands, because of course I watch all the shows, and ended up with Rug Pull Radio, and started listening to Patriots in Progress and G Money. I saw a lot of the comments on G Money too. So that's where I started. And that was about like the end of February. I was like, you know what, I just need to understand this, because there's just so much I don't understand. And it's just a kind of like it's a paradigm shift. It's a concept that's kind of hard to understand. So I started with those guys, and, you know, I got my little wallet, and I, signed up for just kind of the consultant piece of it. And because I really felt like these guys are really paving the way for us in this community. And so I appreciate having that, because that's the one thing about the confusion around crypto and Bitcoin. So with signing up with them and getting the hard wallet and understanding that, what I needed to do, I got a lot of homework assignments given to me. So they basically say, this is what, this is kind of who you need to follow in terms of like, here's the YouTube channels you need to look at. Here's the books you need to get. Here's, just kind of immerse yourself in it. So I did that for the first, March and April. And the whole time I was like, should I go to this conference? I really was battling with it because it was going to be expensive. It's not expensive now. Like, I would recommend, if anybody's even trying to learn about it, get the ticket for I'm with you on the whole Nashville thing. Yeah. I was not happy about that either, because that was the whole reason I went, was because it's in my backyard. I'm like, I got to go. It's right here. And so I went, and, G Money was like, yeah, you should go. It'll be good for you to go. Come. First, it was like, I'm just going to go play on the yacht and then come call it a day. But I really just felt, pulled to go down there and just get in it. And so what I did was, and I think I saw Diana mention in the chat that, she's like, I don't even know what to ask. And that's kind of how I felt when I was down there. But when I went into where all the exhibitors are, like the exhibit hall, like I literally would walk up to the table and go, I don't even know what to ask you. Like my feedback to the ones that organize it was, you need to have a booth, like one booth that's like literally Bitcoin for dummies that are there to learn, have a place to go, because, it's intimidating. I mean, it's intimidating. Like, these people are, this is a culture. I mean, there's no, they talk about their culture. It's a great culture. It's super positive, inclusive, love. It's kind of like GART, like when you were at GART, and that love that you were feeling, with all the contributors in this community. So it's kind of similar. It's a very, kind of inclusive, like, don't, ask whatever you want to ask. Don't feel, they're happy to answer the questions, in other words. So that's kind of where why I got there. And for me, walking into it with kind of that foundation that I got from G Money and Patriots in Progress helped so much to kind of understand who are the players, that they told me to focus on, and all the players that they told me to kind of focus on were part of the speakers. The one thing, there's 3 stages going on at one time. There's kind of like that Nakamoto stage was the main, that's where RFK Jr. was, and Vivek, and I think it was Tulsi Gabbard. So there was a lot of policy lectures, which I think from a historic perspective, it sounded like just kind of listening to Bitcoin Magazine had a, like a platform where they would discuss after the lecture, they would discuss it, like sports, after the halftime, and they talk about this and that, and they would talk about it. And that was one thing I heard over and over again. There was a lot more about policy, like they're moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Now, before we get too much into the conference and the
Sure.
lectures you attended and all like that, I like the point you made about the similarity to GART, because I think that's something this community needs to kind of sort of comprehend. Now, it's a younger crowd, okay? I just think people need to understand it's a younger crowd, but I like that, and I like being able to mix and mingle with this younger crowd and try and just see where they're coming from. That's another reason why, hey, G Money said, hey, you need to come down and just get on the yacht. And it's like, okay, I will do that. I made a last minute decision to come. I was very happy. I want you maybe to just kind of talk a little bit about, what you saw really essentially on the yacht, because you could see the younger crowd. They definitely had certain little cliques and people they knew and understood. You famously tried to get them on the dance floor. And
I was about to say, I was like, what? Yeah, I've never met a stranger. Let's put it that way. I'm very like, I'll talk to the wall if it'll talk back to me. So that's just how I roll. Like they were great. I try to get people on the dance floor because there was nobody on the dance floor. And finally I was just like, all right, nobody else is going to dance. I'll just dance by myself. And then these, this younger guy came up and he kind of stuck with me. But again, it's like, everyone is so nice. Everybody's like, hey, like these girls were kind of in the corner, kind of cracking up because I kept stepping on my pants and kind of like, but everybody was very, again, just welcoming. And that group on the yacht isn't even, they're on another level because they're on that NFT, which I'm still not quite understanding that whole, but that's the art. Those are the artists. Right. Those are the ones that draw those peppy cards and they come up. There's this creative, so that they're kind of like on another level, high, cerebral level. But again, just, I didn't feel any, because my age, I'm older. I don't know if I could be old enough to be their mom, but I'm pretty close. Like,
no. You're well younger than me. Let's just keep it moving.
Yeah, they were again just now within the conference. I did see a lot of folks my age that were trying to learn it, really trying to understand it, and I think like I think you mentioned this just a minute ago, but I think one of the best ways to kind of think about it is where the internet was. Mm-hmm. Like, in the way that I think it's Jack Mallers that always says, the internet is open to anybody. Anybody can access it in terms of information, and Bitcoin is the same way. It is from a technology standpoint, it will be available to anybody that wants it. And but it's money versus information. So it's and it's coming. Like that's, I think, the thing that G Money and Sean always try to like, it is going to happen. It's just a matter of when is it going to happen?
Yeah.
And that's their passion. Their passion is really around, don't get ahead of the 8 ball. Don't get behind it, because when it hits, it's going to like explode. And you don't want, that's not the time to be learning about it,
Right.
because there's so much to learn. You got to learn it now.
Especially, when you're not part of that younger crowd. And I think my audience is, for the most part, representative of that. That's why I wanted to have this show. These younger people, they intuitively understand and accept the premise,
Mhm.
and they just roll with it. Of
Right.
course, they're at a different stage. They have less, I don't want to say they have less to lose, but they have more time to recover if a misstep is made. For somebody who's got years in like me, okay, you need to be really careful with the choices you make. But that is something about the Pepe yacht I want to get back to. I don't want to overly harp on it, but you remember we had a round table
Round table.
essentially.
Yeah.
And it was, I was sitting there thinking, I wish we could have recorded this,
Yeah.
because there was great discussion and, variety of discussion that would have benefited this audience, but it's also going back to Gart. This is the kind of thing. We're social creatures, and there are certain things you're just not going to be able to get from a video presentation, no matter how hard the presenter
Right.
tries. And there are other things you're going to get if you just participating in something of a round table. There's personable interaction. Somebody happens to make a point, and it then just flows, and then people comment, giving their own perspective. That was one of the tremendously valuable things I thought about being on that yacht, because it did allow me to see so much, having never really spent time, with G Money or Sean. It was just fantastic to just get that personal interaction. And what I find in this audience, because we value that. We value that personal interaction, even if it's fleeting. You get some kind of interaction. Diana, I was hoping to get together with Diana, maybe a few other folks down in South Florida. We had some communication snafus, but hey, I'm not going anywhere. There'll be plenty of other times. And you and I even talked about perhaps some informal Florida get-togethers with.
I think we could have a mini Gart in Florida.
Yeah.
We have a lot of these, a lot of your.
There are a bunch of content creators
that are here.
Mhm.
Yeah, we could do a mini Gart. John would
Yeah,
like
I
that.
agree. So yeah, it's I do want to not ignore the chat. I had talked to you about we want to absolutely and
I saw a question. I think it was Brian. Maybe somebody asked about the hard wallet versus.
Yeah, and you definitely want to get your Satoshis off of the exchange. You definitely want to get it into a hard wallet. You use the exchange for utility. It's like you have an account, and if you need to make use of it, okay, you have this available. But that's not where the majority of your wealth is going to be. You absolutely don't want that. You want to be sovereign controller. But good morning, Dina. One of my valuable Jacksonville supporters there. But yeah, I think I may do the commercial break, but I want you to hang around.
Yeah, sure.
If you don't mind, and then we'll just carry this through to the remainder of the show. Is that cool?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So let me hang tight, hold for processing and all that good stuff. Yeah, and let me get these next two ads out of the way. Let's see if I can pull this off. Yeah.
We want to welcome another new advertiser here at Badlands, NoBugsBeef.com. Let's face facts. America's supply chain is going to be increasingly disrupted in the coming months, which means it's not if we'll have a food shortage, it's when. Having enough protein to feed your family for several months is essential for your survival. That's why we've partnered with NoBugsBeef.com. They provide sous vide, freeze-dried, all-American beef from ranches in Texas that have never, ever given their cows an mRNA jab. The beef, stored in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers for maximum shelf life, will stay shelf stable for more than 10 years without refrigeration and with maximum nutrition and flavor. All you need to do is soak it in water for 15 minutes and it's ready to eat. These are not your typical survival meals. They're premium cuts of ribeye, New York strip, tenderloins, sirloin, and chuck. Get your family ready for the chaos at nobugsbeef.com and use the promo code BADLANDS for an additional 10% off your order. That's nobugsbeef.com, promo code BADLANDS. And just a quick reminder to check out Badlands Marketplace on badlandsmedia.tv, where you'll find nobugsbeef.com and a growing number of America First businesses listed. Help build our parallel economy by shopping America First.
All right. And what we want to do is make sure you understand about Badlands Marketplace and what we're trying to build with our parallel economy, right? Badlandsmarketplace.com. We've got a range of businesses listed there, from vacation home rentals to books from America First authors. We've got health and wellness products, life coaching, patriotic wristwear to framed American flags. And it's only growing, ladies and gentlemen. Please take the time to check out the badlandsmarketplace.com website. Recommend it to your friends and your entire circle. We are working very hard to become something more than just a niche. We want to become a leader in this parallel economy that's going to help the country rise out of the debt slavery, narrative slavery, overall slavery that's been forced upon us. And, you know, we have something of a commercial country and it drives the train. Remember, badlandsmarketplace.com. And if you own an America First business, please contact Kitty Gillespie to see how Badlands Media can partner with you to promote your company. Just email Kitty at ads.badlandsmedia@proton.me. That's ads.badlandsmedia@proton.me. Okay, there we go. I think I made it through that. And I think we can continue with our discussion and see if we can invite some questions from the chat.
Yeah, I saw a couple things. Just Diana, I want to know how I spend it, and that's actually what's is the hardest part of this, is that everything from what G Money talks about and Sean, and even in the conference, one thing that I definitely learned is there's Bitcoin and there's everything else,
right?
And Bitcoin is classified as a commodity, whereas crypto is classified as a security. So everything there is about holding it. Like you buy it and hold it. And even Jack Mallers said, he goes, if I need to sell it for something down the road, I can always sell it. And for those that aren't familiar with Jack Mallers, because I wasn't either, but I call him the kid because he was like 25 years old when he went to he's the one that he's the CEO of Strike, which is one of the it's now part of that Lightning Network. That's the new thing that they were talking about, which is basically it's an app on your phone. You can buy Bitcoin off your phone. It doesn't have anything to do with your wallet. It's just currency. Like it just switches back and forth between however many Satoshis equals however many cents on the dollars. And it's really been adopted more in that global South. That's what they talk about a lot. So if you think about not the US, our government is really kind of pushing back on this, which is what was interesting about having.
One of the reasons why they focus and talk about the global South is kind of sort of what I said yesterday. Again, my biased position. When I think about Bitcoin, I think about freedom, and this is what it offers to the global South. People have to put this together.
Yeah.
I want to address some questions Eurythmic has put in the chat in a minute, but this is a very important point, the freedom that the Bitcoin offers, even amidst the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that people keep putting forward. If you just focus on the freedom it offers, you start to understand the banking opposition to Bitcoin. You know, they recognize that it flips the script and it makes more powerful the truism that you as an individual are the bank. And when you put that money in these institutions we call the bank, you are loaning as a bank officer to a business to then allow them to do all kinds of things with your money for their benefit primarily and for your relatively little benefit. And it's just commercially a really stark contrast, because when you allow people who live in these countries and are, let's just be honest, they are, I don't want to say indentured servants in a way, but you almost have to remember these autocrats who run these countries find it irresistible to steal from the country, and they scoop up this money. They then become rich. People then are incentivized to want to be part of the government so they can enrich themselves. Now, we have a form of that in this country with all of these stock options that they, you know, we know how Hillary got rich, right? In Arkansas and all this other kind of stuff. People give you these benefits, this little insider trading benefit, and they wink, wink, let you move along. And it's like, okay, well, that's not available to Americans in general. So that's improper. Bitcoin eliminates all of that. And that's one of the things I love. But now let me just get to Eurythmic real quick, because I want to just see if we can, hard to get over that non-tangible assets are always vulnerable to the system, right? Gold, silver, cash, and property I can protect. Yeah, you say you can, but then the United States captured all the gold, right? 1930s made you turn it over. It's an extractive industry, and anything that's an extractive industry has tremendous multiple avenues for big government to get in between you and that asset. They can manipulate, they can control it. I saw something the other day and I thought, okay, you say, JB, you're not proselytizing, so maybe I shouldn't play this video, but you know, I'm a huge Michael Saylor fan too. And I love what they've done with MicroStrategy. And he was making the point on a video I watched this morning about, since they implemented their Bitcoin strategy, the percentage growth that they have is exponentially better than anything you could have gotten anywhere else, including the S&P 500. I mean, no crypto asset comes close to them. The S&P 500 doesn't come close to them. It was a humongous win for his business. And I've been wanting to write a Substack in praise of him as a force multiplier, because he has shown the way for commercial enterprises on this is how you have to do what you need to do moving forward, even in the midst of these accounting rules that arbitrarily work against you. And he thinks those accounting rules get changed later this year. But that's the fact of the matter. It's what I mean when I say pathfinders. I think of us in this community as pathfinders, trying to communicate to the country what's gone wrong, who are the people pushing the wrongness, and these are the steps we're taking to bring us back into control of our country. There have to be pathfinders that lead the way for the normies. That's us. And to me, that's what Bitcoin is. It's a pathfinder towards freedom. If you can just break through the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, because people have tried to crash it. People have tried to hack it. People have tried to talk all kinds of yang about it, but they cannot stop it. And so it's another form of nothing can stop what is coming, in my estimation. Now, Cigar City,
Well,
I don't want the words in your mouth.
Well, no, one thing too that Jack Mallers basically made an announcement at at the conference with his new Lightning Network with Strike, and the importance of that for business, because there were a lot of, booths in the conference center that were geared towards people that own their own business, and the Lightning Network helps them. It's a global money app, and it helps them because they can still use US dollars, but it helps them get around the Visa, the payment systems. They pay like, I don't know, like 5%, or, there's that percentage that gets tacked on as a business. So from Michael Saylor mentioned this in one of his discussions, and then Jack Mahler's mentioned it too, is like the importance of the Lightning Network which is relatively new for this community. Like within the last year, I think, is how it's helping businesses now. Just again, freedom, getting around the system that of inflation and everything that they try to do to us to, minimize our, assets or finance. And they even made a case about real estate, that you don't really own the real estate. I mean, even if you own it outright and you don't have a mortgage or something, you still have to pay your taxes. And so they still got you.
You're still subject to eminent domain. I mean, people just
Right.
have an illusory thought because this is the norm and this is what we know.
Right.
I see, your rhythmic is still okay, bro. Yes, but it's always a yes, but, and the but gets removed with Bitcoin because of the technology, because of the scarcity, because of the nodes protecting the sanctity of the network. People keep talking about this 51% attack. That's impossible. They tried to do in this New York agreement, they tried to do the big boy New York City thing, and people told them to go straight to hell. Get the hell out of here. We're not buying that. So you go do your little fork and nobody's going to follow you. Bitcoin is institutionalized and entrenched. They cannot stop it now. So all of that stuff,
Well,
if you do your research, I think you become more and more comfortable with the reality
thing about
of
the
it.
internet, I know I've heard that a lot too, about the internet going down. Well, if your Bitcoin is stored in a hard wallet, which is this thing over here, if the internet goes, I mean, all the banking is going to go down. So it doesn't really matter where you have your, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, wherever, pick your banking. If the internet goes down, which if it did go down, it's going to come back up, because that's the whole point of Starlink and the US Space Force. I mean, I think that's part of what they do. And that's a big thing with Soft War, that the book, Jason Lowery's book, Soft War, talks about that cyberspace war. Like, this is what he's referring to. So the internet piece, I get it, but it's not if you have it in your hard wallet. I think that's the point of pulling it off the exchange and putting it in the hard wallet. Then once the internet comes back on, you're good to go. So, and then there was another point too about it's not backed, that Bitcoin isn't backed by anything, and it is backed by energy. That's the commodity that Bitcoin is tied to, in terms of, because there's like, the dollar could be backed by gold or silver, et cetera, but this is backed by energy. So I just saw that in the chat. So.
Yeah. And, also people will forever hit me with this. Hey, man, what if the power goes out, man? It's like, okay, listen, you do understand gas stations run off of electricity, right? You do understand that, right? This was part of the Tesla thing. And it's like, every argument they make can be logically shot down. And it just is amazing to me. And, I still have friends hitting me with some of these things. It's like, okay, let me go research this XRP. You're telling me that's so big in Japan. And then you go research and it's, venture capitalists pushing it. Yeah. This is the problem.
Yeah.
I
think that's one thing G Money does make a good comparison or distinction between Bitcoin and the crypto, is that the crypto all have CEOs behind them. So there's that third party person or idea that's in between you and the crypto. Whereas again, Bitcoin, it's between you and the person you're exchanging with, that peer-to-peer. It's a true peer-to-peer. So
now for the audience, again, I've got Patriots in Progress coming tomorrow. G Money will be here Thursday. There are questions, there are positions that you firmly have. I'm not going to try and argue off of that. And in fact, in the discussions we're going to have the next 2 days, I'm not going to let the discussion venture into, okay, argument. This is about, for the majority of people who do not comment in chat, they simply listen and watch, and they're trying to educate themselves on this changing world that we're in. We want to have a discussion that is educational, informative, and open to constructive critique, right? That, to me, is something very different. I just want to be an avenue for this discussion without average, ordinary people having to go get an absolute series of consultations, et cetera, et cetera. We just want a generic conversation.
High
X
level.
number of people listening to the show obviously are going to be intrigued enough, I fully expect, that they will go forward with these consultations because they do want to do the research. They do see the benefit and the growth that you might be able to get from it as part of their little wealth generation process. Well and good. So that's the thing I'm hoping the chat will embrace. And the thing about how do you use it? Okay, I'm still thinking about Diana's question. And think about this for these men who are coming in the next 2 days and how you want to question them about this particular aspect. The Lightning Network, people don't understand how phenomenal that is. And they don't understand the utility of having a secure base level Bitcoin. When people criticize that it can't do transactions, it's not efficient, that's a feature, not a bug. You want rock solid base layer, and you allow ingenuity and innovation on the layers above that don't affect the base layer. So if it flames out, okay, it's just one of those little, entrepreneurial acts. It didn't quite work out. It may move forward in a different way and work out, but it hasn't affected the base layer. That's the way I look at the Lightning Network and then Strike. And I say, just think about MasterCard and Visa. That's all you got to really, to me, think about.
I think
they allow for the payment.
Strike, like in its simplest form, is a cash app. Like, and within their app, it's like, I think he said it's reached 3 billion people across, the globe. And if we want to use it in the US, we can use it as a pay app using US dollars. But if you're in El Salvador and you want to use it and use the Bitcoin currency, you can use, so it toggles between them. And so anybody can use it. It's just getting used to that. It's just one more kind of, what is it? Weapon in your armory or whatever, something, to use to try to get used to the concept. And I would highly recommend watching Jack Mallers' videos on YouTube, because he really just, the passion and what he's done with El Salvador. I mean, it just but also what he's trying to do across the globe, including, and he did I think we talked about that at our roundtable, the 2 policy talks that he did right leading up to the conference. He went to DC and he gave a talk to, I don't know, something Policy Institute. And then he did another one, and he basically started his presentation with not what Bitcoin is, but what it isn't. And dispel. And then he also kind of did this kind of step-by-step dispelling the room, or, just the misconceptions around Bitcoin. So those are 2, that I would definitely check him out on YouTube. He's got good stuff there. And they're brief. They're not like an hour,
Yeah. And there's a wide range. If you start going down the rabbit hole, through consultation or not, there's a wide range of people involved now in this Bitcoin universe who have all kinds of information available. You can go to YouTube. There's a guy, Bitcoin University, Matthew Cratter. That's a good place to start. That's free, just for general information that can supplement whatever we're going to discuss this
Mike
week.
Saylor has his Saylor Institute. That's another free one. Yep. A lot of stuff.
So it's not something that is not transparent. There are plenty of people offering all kinds of free information, and
Right.
then we'll of course offer you their services as well, because hell, they got to make money too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's part
I
of
do
the
I
growth.
do want to have I think I mentioned to you this, and not today, but I'm just saying in general, I do think that gold, the whole gold argument and the Bitcoin argument, like they're going to coexist together. And I
Exactly.
just think this platform, like Joe Lang's article, the Midas Touch, excellent article on gold. And so
Right.
I just feel like we need to have like some kind of open forum with, like another mini GART, even if it's a one-off from a regular show, and
Yeah.
just have this discussion, because it's like everybody's just trying to figure this out, and we have like the brains of the best in the business. As I tell John, I'm like, he's just pulled together a team of people that is incredible. So
Yeah. Okay. With that, I think we will end the show. Cigar City, thank you so
all
much.
right,
You
have a
did
great
great.
day.
And we will come back again tomorrow for another edition of the Rattler-Gator
Yeah.
Report. And I hope y'all will join us and continue in the discussion. Okay? Later,
All right.
Gators.
See ya.